Good afternoon everyone and welcome back to the Rah Rah Rabbit. So this is a video I've been waiting a very long time to do, and now I finally get to do it. I'm talking about The New Frontiers of Lucid Dreaming, the debut book by James Bray, aka Beyond Lucid Dreaming, formerly known as Spacetime Badass. If you are someone who follows lucid dreaming content creators, you may already be familiar with James's work. We did work together on Team Lucid Dream a few years ago. And this book has been several years in the making, and now it's finally available. So first things first, in reviewing this book, obviously I am friends with James. We talk a lot, we've worked on stuff together as previously mentioned. Plus I designed the artwork for the book, which you can see here. So naturally people may assume that there is going to be a bias in me reviewing the book, but I'm being 100% honest. I make no money from blowing smoke up his arse. I have no incentive to lie or skew my review in his favour. I thought it was best to address that so people know that there's no dishonesty going on here. So with that little disclaimer out of the way, let's get on with the review. So first off, The New Frontiers of Lucid Dreaming isn't a how-to guide for beginners or an introduction to the topic like so many other lucid dreaming books. It's really aimed at people who are already quite skilled in lucid dreaming, or at the very least aren't new to the practice. Although it does offer tips and advice on how one can improve their lucid dreaming practice, it largely focuses on how we can further explore the topic in order to understand more about what lucid dreaming is, and what its potential could be in understanding more about ourselves, the brain, consciousness, and our own psychological well-being, whilst challenging a lot of the half-formed theories and hyperbole around lucid dreaming that a lot of places promote as absolute truth. Although there is a thriving online community for lucid dreamers, a lot of it is filled with pseudoscience and new age thinking, which often gets muddled up and grouped together with topics such as astral projection, dream sharing, and other things which hold very little weight in the scientific world. It definitely feels like we've hit a bit of a wall with lucid dreaming, and many resources tend to churn out the same sort of stuff without really making any progress. James highlights many of the issues within the lucid dreaming industry, such as failed dream devices and quick fixes, which he feels only contributes to the confusion and ultimately prevents real change from happening. As I said, it's not a how-to lucid dream book, but does offer advice on how to tweak a few things in order to make improvements to one's lucidity, from navigating the dream landscape to dream control and so on. But a big focus of the book, and an area that I have a great deal of interest in, is how lucid dreaming can be used for well-being and how it can be implemented in psychotherapy. James talks about using the lucid landscape to learn more about oneself, exploring the Jungian shadow, and gaining insight into some of the deeper and darker aspects of the self, all whilst being very candid and honest about his own struggles with depression and suicidal thoughts. But as well as talking about the positive aspects of using lucid dreaming for mental health and well-being, he also highlights some of the potential pitfalls. For example, if you are using lucid dreaming to try and work through trauma, let's say, and you try and unlock some repressed memories, the insight the dream gives you might be completely false. You might uncover a memory which isn't actually a memory. It could simply be a product of the dream and not a true reflection of reality. For a lot of us, whether you are more spiritually aligned or more scientifically aligned, we all feel that our dreams, especially our lucid dreams, are trying to tell us something important. And I think it's very easy to just kind of take what the dream gives you and believe it without really challenging it. And again, this is something that James is trying to put across. And it's also something that I have touched upon before in my own exploration, when I've used lucid dreaming to better understand my voices or my alters. For those who are new to this channel or to me in general, I have a working diagnosis of dissociative identity disorder. I hear voices. I have for the majority of my life. These voices are potentially alters or alternative personalities. I can't speak today. So I have been using lucid dreaming to understand a lot of that. And whilst I was doing that, I made sure to repeat the dream to make sure that the answers that I received were consistent. I also took into consideration how I may have been influencing the narrative of the dream subconsciously. Although I want to try and promote lucid dreaming for mental health, my experiences are my experiences alone, and ultimately I don't know what the full implications are. I've said in another video that working with trauma could potentially have many negative consequences, such as re-traumatizing someone. There are a lot of factors that you have to consider, even though it's always tempting to go with an answer that makes you feel good or confirms your beliefs. It's ultimately more damaging to the progression of lucid dreaming when people's personal feelings aren't filtered out from what is observable and true. But as well as all of that, I think it's a really well written book. I found it difficult to put down once I started reading it, and I felt it flowed really well. James puts his points across in a succinct and professional manner, and despite what people may think, he doesn't needlessly attack the opposition. Of course, there are many things that he doesn't agree with, and he says as much, but he doesn't come across as snobbish or a know-it-all, or feel like he's having a passive-aggressive dig. Now, if you are a complete beginner and looking for something that teaches you how to lucid dream, this probably isn't the book for you, although I'd still argue you could learn something from it. If you find yourself more aligned with New Age thinking, again, this book might not do it for you, but I would still encourage you to read through it, as I'm sure there are many areas you would agree with. If you are more scientifically aligned, someone who favours a more logical approach to the topic, and you are interested in exploring the topic of lucid dreaming on a deeper level, then 100% this is a must read. Rara, what would you give it? Whoa, 5-star Raras. Is there a higher honour? No, there isn't. So thank you very much for watching, guys. I will leave all of James's relevant information in the description box below, including his website, his YouTube channel, and his social media accounts, so you can go and check out more of his stuff if you so wish. As well as that, I will leave a link to the Amazon.com and Amazon.co.uk sites for the book, so feel free to go and check that out and purchase a copy for yourself. And all of my information will be below, blah, 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 blah. You've heard it all before. So thank you very much for watching, guys. I have been Max, aka the Rara Rabbit, and I'll see you in the next video.